In today's prehab, we're going to focus on some stretches here that should target primarily your hips and your thighs. Begin with just some slow, deep belly breathing, maybe 5 inhalations in the nose and out the mouth. After your deep breaths, go ahead and extend both feet out straight in front of you. Straighten your spine, reach up, and forward fold. Maybe your hands will come down to your toes, or maybe just to your shins, and tuck your chin, just to stretch that nervous system before we begin. The first stretch we're going to do here would be for the glute muscles, partly the hips. Hug the knee to your chest. You should feel a pretty good deep stretch. With the opposite arm, reach up and over your head. Rotate to that side using your knee and your elbow. Twist and rotate to stretch the QL muscle of your low back. Do the same for the other leg. Try to hold each stretch for about 5 seconds. Always focusing on your breathing. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come out of that stretch. Now laying on your back, one leg extended. Grab your knee and pull it to your opposite shoulder. Here we're going to stretch the piriformis, which is an external rotator of the hip, a little bit deeper than the glute muscles that you saw in the previous picture. Do the same for the other leg. Pull the knee to the opposite shoulder, grab the foot, and pull towards you. You should feel a good deep stretch down deep in your hip. We're going to go ahead and repeat that stretch again, just from a different angle so you can see what I'm doing. Again, grab the knee, pull it to your opposite shoulder. With the other hand, grab your foot and pull it towards you. And you should feel a good stretch there in your glute. Again, that is for the piriformis muscle. Okay, transitioning into our next group of stretches and exercises. This next exercise is to activate your hip flexor, the muscles on the front side of your hips. You're going to push your opposite knee and hand together while extending the opposite leg and arm, as shown here. Next, to activate our core, we'll do some reverse crunches where our shoulders remain still, but we lift our hips up and off of the floor, keeping the knees and the ankles together. Do about 10 reps of those. Then, firmly place your feet on the floor, clasp your hands behind your head, and do 10 regular crunches. Keep your chin tucked. Don't pull on the back of your head to stretch your neck, and recover. Now, we're going to roll over to our belly, and we're going to now do a few exercises for our back. Go ahead now and raise the opposite arm and opposite leg at the same time as shown here. Do about 5 to 10 reps of each. From there, we'll come up into a cobra position, reach back, and stretch the quad. Do the same for the other side. Then from there, bend both knees, clasp both ankles with each hand, roll and tuck the shoulders back, and lift the knees and the chest off the floor in this bow position. Hold for about 10 seconds and relax. Now coming up into cobra and sphinx pose, stretch the abdominals with both feet straight back. Then hip flex one leg off to the side and repeat again as shown here. You may feel a stretch in the hip that's flexed, or maybe even in the hip flexor on the leg that's straight back. Here again, we will perform another stretch for the deep hip muscles. This is the same stretch we just did, just from a forward view. Now, from that position, we're going to spread the knees apart, have our ankles rolled out as shown here, and then sitting back on our hips, rest into this position. You may even rock forward or back to deepen the stretch there for those deep hip muscles, those rotators of the hip. Very good. Moving on here to our final stretches for the series. We'll do what's called the runner's pose, and we will do 3 different positions for each one. For each position, press or rock into that position for about 5, and then hold. And now for the third position, bringing that knee across the midline. With each of these positions of the knee, you should hopefully feel the stretch a little bit different in your hip. Now on the opposite leg, with the knee off to the side or lateral, 5 presses and hold. Now the knee to midline, 5 presses and hold. Good. And now inside of midline, across your body, 5 presses and hold. Good. Now to conclude our stretching for this sequence, we'll go back to just our cat-cow, our downward dog. Press the head between the elbows. Stretch the calves, hamstrings. Come down into child's pose. Calm your breathing. And we'll always try to finish where we started. 5 deep breaths in the nose, out the mouth, from the belly. Very good. Thanks, everyone.